So, Demi Lovato thinks that sugar-free foods are triggering and therefore unfair and diet culture and shameful. What do I think about that? Oh man. Hi guys, certified nutrition coach Samantha Souza here, and I help people end the cycle of yo-yo dieting for good. And today I am talking about the recent controversy that has been perpetuating the media in the last couple of days regarding Demi Lovato and her beef, I guess, with this LA-based frozen yogurt company. I'm sorry if there's like a massive echo in my new home right now. I just moved and there's literally nothing in this living room area space. I'm sitting, you guys, on a step ladder. That's how little furniture I currently have. So I apologize, and hopefully we can get past that, because I think that what needs to be discussed today is incredibly important and especially relevant for my channel as a sugar-free human and ketogenic life advocate. This felt extremely relevant for me and my channel. For those of you who are unaware, I will do like a very brief catch up. You can literally Google this. It's like you put Demi Lovato and the next thing that comes up is Froyo. But for those of you who are unfamiliar, basically she went to this pretty popular but still very small frozen yogurt shop local to LA. It caters to diabetic clientele and presents sugar-free options. And she was triggered by the words guilt-free that were attached to those offerings. And she basically said the following and called them out on Instagram. Somebody with millions and millions of very easily influenced followers, and decided to call out a very small business. Let's just see what she had to say. She said, and she called them out, finding it extremely hard to order Froyo from the Bigg Chill official when you have to walk past tons of sugar-free cookies, other diet foods before you get to the counter, she wrote, accusing the store of harmful messaging and using the hashtag diet culture vultures. And she was trying to get this diet culture vultures hashtag like trending. With no regard to that small business and what they're trying to do, there are a bunch of Froyo places that you can go to that don't have that as part of the offerings that they're trying to put out there for people. As somebody who lives a sugar-free existence, it's actually extremely rare for me to find those kinds of offerings, so that I end up just abstaining. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself here. The Bigg Chill ended up responding to this and said, we are not diet vultures. We cater to all of our customers' needs for the past 36 years. We are sorry you found this offensive. So right off the bat, this is not trendy. This is not in the advent of keto. I've talked very often on here about there being a sort of double-edged sword that keto lifestyles and sugar-free options are becoming more and more prevalent, which is great. It makes it accessible for people who choose to live that lifestyle. But on the flip side, there's a lot of weird BS products out there in general that can be not so good, right? It's almost better to have like just only whole food options. However, this company, this small business, has been offering sugar-free frozen yogurt for 36 years. That's longer than I've been alive. Clearly, it's not meant to be trendy. It's meant to provide to a clientele that the Bigg Chill has said caters to diabetics. Not everybody, Demi, living a sugar-free existence is doing so out of diet culture or wanting to be a certain size. I can't tell you how many clients are in my Diet Destroyer program who have literally no desire to lose weight, but they have to get nutrition guidance and coaching to reverse their diabetes. I have helped many clients actually reverse their diabetes in as little as 6 weeks. People who have been on insulin for 20 years, who are spending $1,000 a month on insulin, even with insurance, who are tired of living with this and realizing through education that it is reversible through diet only, no medication. So this company is providing an opportunity for not only just diabetics, but anybody choosing to live a sugar-free existence so that they can enjoy these things. In a weird way, in my opinion, I feel like it's the opposite of diet culture. And the fact that she finds it triggering as somebody who's recovering from an eating disorder, on the one hand, I understand, but it's almost as if she wants to demonize people who are choosing to live that way happily. Otherwise, the only option is just pure abstinence, which we all, found out in high school isn't a foolproof method. What's funny is that even when presented with this information, Demi Lovato on Instagram, initially at least, doubled down on the attack on this company and said that it was triggering and awful and that their customer service was basically garbage, which is just so rude, further defamatory, further alienating this small business that's been around for almost 4 decades and is a pillar in that community for people who need it. She said this: you can find a way to provide an inviting environment for all people with different needs, including eating disorders, one of the deadliest mental illnesses, only second to opioids and overdoses. Don't make excuses, just do better. This was after she said that you can carry things for other people while also caring for another percentage of your customers who struggle daily just to even step foot in your store. So it's okay to prioritize people with eating disorders, but it's not okay to prioritize people who would otherwise go without frozen yogurt if not presented with this sugar-free option. You're more important than those people. Health is just as deadly, if not more deadly. The percentage of diabetics in this country is killing people. I have a video on my channel talking about that diabetes was the #1 comorbidity when combined with the plague that shall not be named, known as 19. I can't say it because they could demonetize my video. That is killing people. So to minimize that struggle and compare it only to your own, and I'm not trying to minimize eating disorders either. I have a bunch of videos on my channel discussing, things about the all-in movement. There's a ton of videos on my channel about that. I'm not minimizing that at all, but to elevate that among any other deadly disease that is related to diet is both negligent, insensitive, and guilty of all the same things that she's trying to accuse this small business of. And the fact that she said, don't make excuses, just do better, in regards to saying we serve diabetics and we try to be inclusive to diabetics and provide them options. Just do better and don't make excuses? Wow. And the thing is, guys, don't get me wrong. I'm a huge fan of Demi. I've been watching the documentary series Dancing with the Devil. It gives me a lot of mixed feelings that I'm not going to go into in this video, but it just seems very entitled, and it seems that it's been done with absolutely no regard for how it will affect this small company, how it affects people who are diabetic, how it affects people who have chosen to live a sugar-free lifestyle as a means of being healthier. It's negligent. It's negligent and frankly privileged, if I'm being totally honest. So she further doubled down once all this backlash started to happen and she was kind of being perceived in a negative light. I think there was a little bit of further explanation and a little bit of backtracking happening. She said, I was thinking maybe it would help if you made it more clear that the sugar-free options and vegan options are for that, meaning people with certain dietary needs. What other reason would there be? Not every person who is vegan is doing it to lose weight. Not every person who is sugar-free is doing it to lose weight. That might not necessarily be common knowledge, but requiring that they explain that on every single signage or product is, again, extremely privileged. And it boggles my mind, honestly. I understand that she said, labeling the snacks for celiac, diabetes, or vegans, when it's not super clear, the messaging gets confusing, and being in LA, it's really hard to distinguish diet culture versus health needs. And while I understand that to be true, I feel like anything other, honestly, in my opinion, and again, this is just an opinion, Anything other than labeling something low calorie, in my opinion, doesn't necessarily cater to a weight loss or diet related mentality. It relates more to a diet in the original sense of the word, meaning the way I choose to eat on a daily basis. I know plenty of vegans and vegetarians who don't eat those kinds of foods out of ethics. It has nothing to even do with health. I can go on another tangent about that. I've had a lot of, former vegan clients who realized that once they start incorporating meat and animal products, their health actually improves. But those are for people who were initially becoming vegan in order to thinking that it would make them lose weight. It's not always the case. And again, it shouldn't have to be explained that this is sugar-free because of people requiring that for their health. Health might result in weight loss, but as somebody who coaches people through this lifestyle on a daily basis, I have more than 75% of my clientele have health as the main motivator. And weight loss tends to kind of go hand in hand with that. But honestly, they always say, if I stay the exact same weight, but I've reduced my cholesterol numbers, I've made them healthier, I've, gotten off cholesterol medications, blood pressure medications, I'm no longer suffering from PCOS. I am now not requiring as much anti-anxiety or depression medication. I am now hormonally balanced and I have a regular period again. These are all things that I've helped people through my program achieve through diet only. And a lot of it, y'all, is eliminating sugar from your diet and processed foods in general for the most part, and upping your fats. And this just magically cures us of like most of the things and the ailments that we're dealing with in today's society. Low calorie, on the other hand, tends to be a chronic abuse of diet culture. And so many people come to me on my initial free consultations, which if that's something you're interested in, you can schedule one for free down below. But they are chronically under eating. We have been force-fed diet culture about calories in, calories out, which is not necessarily untrue, but it's the last line in a football field of things that need to happen for it to even become true and effective. Which is why I have clients who initially are eating 800 calories when they sign up with me, and I tell them you need to be eating more, and then all of a sudden I have them eating 2,300 calories and they actually start losing weight. I have a whole free training explaining the science behind why that is, but it's just further proof that calories in, calories out is not necessarily 100% a full-blown accurate depiction of what really goes on in your body. Again, I'm getting on a tangent, but the point is, if something was labeled low calorie, guilt-free, whatever, that's definitely diet culture, but saying something is sugar-free or vegan should not be triggering. It's very clearly an indicator of a certain lifestyle choice that somebody has adopted. And to shame a company for trying to cater to those people who are trying to prioritize their health the same way that she is by trying to override her eating disorder, it's just to me very self-serving and only thinking about what's best for her and not what's best for other people. What's funny, in this page 6 article that I'm referencing, they said, it's unclear how the Bigg Chill offering a variety of options to meet all of its customers' needs and desires is triggering. And that's exactly how they phrased it, which is exactly how I feel. It's not like they're only serving those things. Even if that was their prerogative as a small business, you can go to any other yogurt shop to get what you want. And what's funny to me, and this might be an aside, because look, some people actually authentically prefer frozen yogurt to ice cream. But inherently in my mind, again, frozen yogurt is something that came around with the low fat, low calorie craze of like the 80s. And that became super popular. And all of a sudden, all these frozen yogurts came on the scene and it was like, oh my God, look at this low fat option. And it's lower calorie. And it was full of sugar and totally detrimental to our health. But it became an alternative for people who wanted ice cream, but then wanted to be healthier. So the fact that she was already like not going to Cold Stone or Ben & Jerry's or a full fat ice cream place and going to Froyo inherently, to me, could indicate that unless maybe it's possible she just actually prefers frozen yogurt over ice cream, you're already kind of in that headspace anyway. So it was just kind of confusing to me, and whether saying that is right or wrong, at this point, I really don't care. What I really applaud the Bigg Chill for is that after a few back and forths and her constantly continuing to message them, trying to backtrack, they just decided to not respond, which I think is the best case. And what's great is that being an LA native myself, seeing the community rally around this small business has been really inspiring. And I'm really glad that we are not a group of people who just kowtow to people because they are celebrity and have millions of followers. Demi did do an Instagram live kind of further explaining herself. It seemed like it was going to be an apology. It didn't really end up being an apology. It ended up being more excuses and more.
If we can make this environment safer for everyone, including people that are in recovery from an eating disorder and just want a little Froyo, if we can do that while also giving Froyo to vegans and people with diabetes, let's go. And I'm willing to talk about that. I'm willing to put effort into making it clear on how we can do that. I don't know. I'm genuinely sorry that people took it the wrong way. I just get really passionate. It's never coming out of a place of hate. It's always coming out of a place of love and trying to lift people up. So I understand that didn't lift the Froyo place up, but I was upset, and that's all that was. So
what's hilarious to me in this clip is that she's saying, listen, if you had just said that, then I would have been willing to, offer my services as some sort of like expert about the messaging so that we can get the messaging right. First of all, okay, there's no way that this messaging could have been predicted as being triggering to you. Second of all, the damage is done. If that's what your agenda was and what you thought would have been beneficial, then you could have reached out to them privately and acknowledged this. And then what a great story it would have been. But now instead you just put these people on blast with no information, no education, no regard to what the outcome would be for these people, only just that you look like you have some sort of platform and that you're some sort of advocate for the eating disorder community while completely kicking on the ground the community that this company is trying to serve. That's already been done, Demi. That's already been done. The damage is done. So for you to say, I should have been more careful about that, yes, you should have, but also now I'm willing to do this. It's over. It's over. It's too late. And I hope that you provided this company with the absolute free advertising that they so deserve, which is what I think is going to happen. So I guess in the long run, it all worked out. Hopefully, we'll see in the coming months for this business. But this whole apology video, you can go watch it on your own time, is just, in my opinion, problematic. And the part that really grinds my gears, y'all, really grinds my gears is, trust me, there are a lot of people out in this YouTube space that talk about nutrition and diet culture and all that jazz like I do. But I'm one of the only people that I have found out there who actually talks about the importance of verbiage and talks about the importance of the language you use as to not create negative relationships with food. I did a whole video series about cheat meals and especially about verbiage. In this video, I will have linked in the cards above, talking about the distinction between calling something a cheat meal and what that does to you detrimentally over time. So trust me, I'm all about verbiage. So what really grinds my gears is that it has also been recently released that Demi is doing a pilot for a TV show that is called Hungry. That is about women who are struggling with eating issues and also them trying to find love. And it's called Hungry. That to me is more triggering than anything labeled sugar-free or vegan. This is also what grinded my gears about Stephanie Buttermore's merch prior to All In saying always hungry. Like, why would you want to wear a shirt that says always hungry? That is the most diet culture pushing verbiage I have ever heard. So for her to say all this and call this company out who's providing a service to people who are trying to prioritize health, to then say that they're going to be starring in a pilot about eating disorders called Hungry, boggles my mind. So I just wanted to give my 2 cents on this and provide some perspective on the issue as somebody who has lived a ketogenic, sugar-free existence for the last 11 years, very happily, very sustainably. I don't feel like I lack for anything. I don't feel like I'm suffering. I don't feel like I'm part of diet culture. I feel like I'm a part of health culture. And that's the difference in this community. More and more as time goes on, we are learning that low calorie and low fat is not the move. It's not healthful. It does not benefit us. And I doubt that she's watching, but Demi, if you are watching, hopefully you are seeing the bigger picture of what it is that people who live a sugar-free existence are really after, and maybe we can get on the same page and not have it be page 6. If you liked this video, I hope that you will smash that like button. Let me know down below if there are any other things that are happening in pulp culture that you want me to commentate on. Comment on? Commentate? Same thing, right? Same thing. All right, I'm about to finish painting my house because as you can see, one wall is one color and the other one's white. That's it, I'm out.